Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all in this truth and hold rule well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000, the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom. Coming to you back on another lesson through the Spirit. And I'm going to title this one, The Wicked Will Be Stopped. Meaning, the wicked that are currently in rulership, which are the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people, the descendants of Esau, Edom, which were prophesied to be ruling in these last days. Like it says in the book of Genesis, chapter 27, we're in the last days of Esau, Edom, ruling upon the planet Earth. But before he gets taken down, he's not going to give up his kingdom, his rulership position so easily. So what is he about to do? He's about to bring in the NWO, the New World Order, the Great Reset, because he's already putting that squeeze upon these people to the point where they don't know what's next for the future, or even those who do know, these third witnesses, these doomsday preppers, they're ultimately preparing carnally, not knowing that it's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that's controlling this devil to come down with that great wrath. And the only way out of this upcoming judgment that the Lord is about to release upon the planet Earth, and he's going to use his sword, which is Esau, Edom, to bring that judgment. Because like it says in the book of Daniel, it's going to be a time like no other. The Lord is about to show his judgments upon the planet Earth. He's going to allow the devil to bring in that great reset, to crash the system, to crash the dollar, to bring in that MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. But like it says in the scriptures, before he's about to fill his belly, the Lord is going to rain. He's going to rain that great wrath upon him. So that's what the Lord is about to do with the wicked, because you got three classifications of men. And really what he's trying to do is he's trying to do away with the nation of Israel so he could get that birthright back, but it's not going to happen. So what is he doing? He's trying to get that birthright back through left-hand means, through AI, through merging man with robot. He got experimented with CERN and quantum computers, because he's trying to get that blessing back, but he's not going to be successful, because the Lord is going to put a stop to this devil. And ultimately he has to pay for all the abominations, iniquities, atrocities that he's done to the nation of Israel. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity. Who are the ones who are openly talking about their plans? Talking about we're going to merge man with robot. We're going to gain immortality on the left-hand side is these Edomites. But ultimately, they're not going to be successful, because the Lord is going to put a stop to these devils. Because it's written, but the people in the world, they don't know what this devil is really capable of. They think that, oh man, they're just talking to talk. They're not really going to forward with their plans, but the infrastructure is already set up for this devil to bring in that MOTB system. That great reset, the great crash. Only the remnant, the elect, can see that. The rest of these people are through as hell out here. They don't know what the hell is going on, especially the 2/3 of our people. Like it says in the book of Hosea, our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's what's going to happen to majority of our people. They're going to be destroyed for that lack of knowledge, for that lack of wisdom, especially during the hour of temptation. This is verse 2. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man in his heritage. Yeah, and what did they do to the nation of Israel? They took our heritage away, claimed to be the true people of the Lord, put that J word title on themselves, so they could be justified in claiming, oh man, all this is supposed to be ours because it was promised to us 3,000 years ago. And that's the same thing they're doing today, especially with what they're doing over there in the Gaza Strip, claiming that they're justified in doing that because they're using scriptures to do away with the people over there, the P people, the Palestinian people, because he's a devil that the Bible speaks of. But that's why the Lord is gonna allow them to establish his NWO, but only for so long. He is gonna be allowed to come down with that great wrath to put a lot of people to death, to set up these 15-minute cities, a digital AI infrastructure system, which is basically gonna be a digital prison. But he's not gonna fully enjoy that left-handed blessing that was ultimately given unto him by Yahweh Bashim Shai. This is Psalms chapter 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Yeah, the heathen, these other nations, the self-proclaimed white people, right now they're raging because they know what their end is. They know that their end is slavery. So what are they trying to do? Is do away with the nation of Israel by putting an RFID microchip inside the whole world so they could be justified in, oh man, these people are ours now. Look, they got their mark on it. They got our mark inside of them. So it's a vain thing. It says verse 2, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, verse 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. That's these Klaus Schwabs, Noah Yuval Harari, just speaking boldly against Yahweh Bashim Shai, telling the Lord, we don't need you. We can make our own human 2.0. We don't need rain. We can make our own rain, our own water. We don't need cattle and chickens. We can make our own version of that. We can do lab-grown meat. This is them speaking proudly against Yahweh Bashim Shai, but it's not going to go unpunished. The Lord is reserving these devils to be the first fruits of slavery. But in their minds, they think that they're going to get away. They're going to hide. They're already hiding in these bunkers. You have the Palantir, CEO, flee, America, which is Babylon the Great. Because these heathens, they know that all hell's about to break loose. But even when all hell breaks loose, they're gonna be in awe about how bad it's going to get. Verse 4, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have him in derision. Yeah, because it's a silly plan to put an RFID microchip inside the whole world, to have everybody under a digital slavery, digital prison for eternity. Like in those, in the movies, the Matrix, you're just gonna have these AI robots just surveilling everybody for eternity. No, man, the Lord is not gonna allow that. Yeah, he's gonna allow his system to get it up and running, his new world order, but eventually Yahweh Bashim Shai is gonna bring him down. It's gonna get so bad that the Lord Yahweh is gonna have to send Yahweh Shai back to deliver his elect and his remnant, because of how bad it's gonna be up on the planet Earth. That's why, like it says in the book of Matthew chapter 24, the days are being shortened for the elect's sake. Because if not, no flesh will be saved, because this devil is establishing all these AI data centers, sucking up all the water, drying up the rivers. He's polluting the air, polluting the animals. So this place, it has to be brought down. It has to be destroyed. Verse 5, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yeah, back in going into the Job chapter 20, when he's about to fill his belly, he's going to bring that great wrath upon him. So the Lord has this devil in his snare, in the trap, because he's allowing them to get it up and running. So in his mind, oh man, I'm good. I got everybody, majority of the world, RFID microchipped up. If they don't have that RFID microchip, then they can't participate in society. But the Lord is going to laugh at these devils. He's already laughing at these devils' faces through the prophets, through his prophets of Yahweh Bashim El Shai. Verse 6, yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. Yeah, and that's Yahweh Shai. That's ultimately the one is going to bring Esau, Edom, which is the self-proclaimed white man, down. Like it says in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, he's going to come down in that cloud. Everybody's going to see him, including those Edomites, those Roman centurions that pierced him while he was on the cross. Verse 7, I will declare the decree. The Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai has said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee, the only begotten son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. He's the one that's going to bring this devil down. Not man, not, you got these militias and militaries that have been formed over the years because they know that all hell is about to break loose. They're not going to take Esau, Edom down, by their own power. No, the Lord, Yahweh Bashim El Shai, is going to bring this devil down himself. Verse 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, in the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. So yeah, the earth, the heathen slaves, because there's gonna be slavery in the kingdom, which ultimately are going to be the heathen nations and the wicked, the Edomites. They have already been promised to Yahweh Shai and his elect, his remnant. So why the hell these heathens think that somehow they're going to escape slavery, escape their judgment? They're not. Verse 9, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's clay. Yeah, and that's another thing too. They're going to get their ass kicked for all the atrocities that they did to the tribes, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They're not going to escape their judgment. This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 16, because these Edomites, in their mind, they think that they're going to hide in their bunkers. They're going to let all hell break loose, let the nukes fly during World War III, let people get put to death in the millions, hundreds of millions, and they're going to just ride into the sunset, rise from the ashes like a phoenix, and enjoy their new world order, where they have complete control of everybody for the rest of for eternity. That's not the case. This is Revelation 6 and 16. It says, 15, Salakia, and the kings of the earth, and the great man, and the rich man, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens of in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. And that's what they're already doing. You just had the Palantir CEO go to his bunker over there in New Zealand or Argentina, along with these other CEOs, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and these high-level officials, these high government officials, because they know that what their end is. First and foremost, you already have their own people coming against them. They don't want to be caught lagging in the street like that CEO for that healthcare company, because that's what they're gonna do to all these CEOs. These presidents, if they found them in the streets. That's why they're hiding in those bunkers. Verse 16, and said to the mountains and rock, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. So they're trying to escape Yahweh Bashim El Shai's judgment. They know that Yahweh Shai is coming back, and he's about to bring great judgment upon the planet Earth, destroy America by the way of fire, and deliver his elect. But along with that comes captivity, slavery for all these heathen nations, starting with the elite banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. That's what their end is slavery, to help build the kingdom up, and then being eradicated off the planet Earth. Verse 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? They're not going to be able to stand. They're not going to be able to escape the judgment of Yahweh Bashim El Shai. This is Revelation chapter, if any man have an ear, let him hear. And who are the only ones who are hearing Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai's prophecies, and ultimately taking heed to the warning, are going to be the remnant, the elect. They're going to accept the fact that the Edomites, which are the self-proclaimed white people, are going to receive that harsh judgment and not be offended by it. Because you got 2/3 of our people that are offended by the fact that Esau, Edom's not going to make it to well, he's going to be in the kingdom, but he's not going to be in the kingdom being joint heirs. He's going to be in the kingdom being a slave. Majority of our people, they get offended by that. They get offended when they don't see Esau, Edom on a 12 tribe sign. Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So just like he put the tribes in captivity from during the Grecian Empire, during the Roman Empire, and now in this revived Roman Empire, America, Babylon the Great, it's going to be the same thing. This devil's going to go into captivity. He's going to get his ass kicked, just like he did to the tribes, but it's going to be done in righteousness, because this devil took it to a whole nother level. Like the scripture says, when their punishment had an end, Esau kept going. So it's going to be the same thing today. He's going to be getting his ass kicked. He's going to be put to death when he gets out of order. And ultimately, he's going to be eradicated off the planet Earth after he served that 1,000 long hardcore year slavery to help build up the kingdom. Because Esau, Edom, the Edomites, they're the only nation that's not promised any mercy. Because even these heathen nations, after they serve their slavery, they're going to be allowed to go to their allotted lands, and ultimately live under the nation of Israel, paying tribute, being a captives, or slaves. But it's going to be done in righteousness, because everybody's mourning right now because of this devil, because of all the atrocities that he's done. And that's why Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is going to put a stop to them and establish the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be up on the planet Earth, where the Israelites, starting with Yahweh Shai, the 144,000, the rest of the 1/3, are going to be rulers upon the planet Earth to bring righteousness back upon the planet Earth, where the earth is finally going to have peace. It's not going to know any war, any destruction, because the Edomites are going to be done away with.